Breaking news right now on KCAL News at 10. Sad news to report tonight. Beloved Dodgers pitcher turned broadcaster Fernando Valenzuela has died.
The Dodgers announcing the news tonight to their legion of fans. Posting on social media, the Los Angeles Dodgers mourned the passing of legendary pitcher Fernando Valenzuela. Fernandomania forever. And now a live look tonight from SkyCal over Dodger Stadium. You can see the scoreboard already lit up with Valenzuela's picture in honor of the Dodger legend. Well, in a week filled with the highest of highs for the Dodgers and their fans as the team made the World Series.
Now comes the lowest of lows. Word of Valenzuela's passing breaking just over an hour ago. KCAL Sports Director Jim Hill has more.
3-0 to Lee Mazzilli. Fastball popped in the air, foul. Garvey, I think, has a play. And Fernando has his 5th shutout. Unbelievable.
Not many athletes have burst onto the scene like Fernando Valenzuela. The lefty from a small town in Mexico became a sensation at Chavez Ravine with an introduction that captivated the world of baseball and beyond. Valenzuela got the start on opening day in 1981 after Jerry Royce was injured the day before, and he made the most of his opportunity, throwing a shutout in his first major league start. And that was just the beginning. Fernando won his first 8 starts, going 9 innings each, including 5 shutouts. He combined success with a flamboyant style that spurred Fernandomania and helped establish a bond between the Dodgers and the Latino community.
No words to express what's going on here. The sound of a cheering crowd tells it all. The Fernando Valenzuela magic is alive and well.
And his reach went all the way to the White House.
The most powerful men in the country, President Reagan, Vice President Bush, they were in line waiting for this kid from Mexico, no English, a little bit chubby, long hair, waiting for him to sign them a baseball. That was, my goodness, unbelievable. That could happen only in this country.
Valenzuela finished the strike-shortened season with a 13-7 record, a 2.48 earned run average, and National League best 180 strikeouts, becoming the first pitcher ever to win the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award in the same year, and earning the nickname El Toro. He carried that success into the postseason, going the distance in Game 3 of the World Series as the Dodgers went on to beat the Yankees in 6 games for their first championship in 16 years. Fernando went on to make the All-Star game in 6 straight seasons from 1981 to 1986, finishing in the top 5 of Cy Young voting 3 more times. Valenzuela was part of the 1988 World Series winning team, but injuries would limit him. However, on June 29, 1990, he would provide one more taste of Fernandomania.
Fernando ready, and the strike 2 pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Valenzuela would pitch for 5 more teams before retiring after the 1997 season and returning to the Dodgers as a broadcaster in 2003. While the organization did not issue his number 34 as a sign of respect, Valenzuela's jersey wasn't officially retired until 2023, when he joined Jim Gilliam as the only non-Hall of Famers to receive the honor.
I never think that he was going to retire the number, but make me a little bit surprised, but make me happy.
Fernandomania was a sensation that had never been seen before, and Fernando Valenzuela is a man that no one will ever forget. Oh yeah, that is for sure. Valenzuela stepped down from his Dodgers broadcasting duties ahead of the postseason due to his health concerns.
And Jim, I know that you've covered the Dodgers and Valenzuela for decades now.
Well, I remember when he first came on the scene, and he was the hottest thing. I mean, we were following Fernando. We followed Fernando to the grocery market.
Wow, for Fernandomania.
Yeah, that's how crazy Fernandomania was. But he was so polite. He did not try to run away from the admiration and everything that all of us were giving him.
Wow.
But when he took that pitcher's mound 60 feet 6 inches away, you could see the fear in the batter's eyes. They knew what was coming, and what they also knew, they couldn't hit it.
El Toro.
But El Toro, and he was the biggest hit, that is for sure.
Yeah. And we want to bring in our Jamie Maggio now. Jamie, you've been looking into social media tonight to get a reaction to Valenzuela's passing.
Yeah, not surprising. Yeah. There's a lot out there, people just feeling this. Sure. Dodgers president and CEO Stan Kasten saying of Fernando Valenzuela, quote, "He is one of the most influential Dodgers ever and belongs on the Mount Rushmore of franchise heroes. He galvanized the fan base with the Fernandomania season of 1981 and has remained close to our hearts ever since, not only as a player, but also as a broadcaster. He has left us all too soon." Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred putting out a statement saying in part, "As a member of the Dodger broadcasting team for more than 20 years, Fernando helped to reach a new generation of fans and cultivate their love of the game. Fernando will always remain a beloved figure in Dodger history and a special source of pride for the millions of Latino fans that he inspired." And I think, you know, what Jim was talking about too, like Fernandomania, I think Fernando was the first Dodger name that I learned.
Wow.
When I moved here when I was 13 years old. I mean, he was everything. And when you think about the icons that are known just by one name, their first name.
Right. Fernando.
Yeah. Fernando.
Wow.
Yeah. So touched many.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
And the young kids loved it, and they still love it.
And they will.
And they will always love it, that's for sure.
All right. Jim and Jamie, thank you so much. All right, let's bring in our KCAL's Tom Waite, who is live at Dodger Stadium tonight.
And Tom, you've been speaking with Dodgers fans about the loss of this baseball icon.
That's right, Chauncey and Susie. As you can imagine, Dodgers fans are very emotional. This man meant so much to them. Such an icon. Take a look at some video here. We're at Dodger Stadium, and we just saw fans coming, showing up, bringing flowers to express their appreciation and their love for a man who changed a lot of lives.
For the younger generation, the kids that I call kids now, but that followed him, they saw what a leadership. And this guy he came from nothing. His mom and dad were millionaires. He came up from nothing, and he says, "I'm just going to do my best."
It meant so much to the Hispanic people, and in that time era, it was like we had no meaning here. You know, we were poor. We did the jobs that no one else wanted to do, etc. But then we had a hero, Fernando Valenzuela, at his young age of maybe 21, Rookie of the Year. And he gave not only us, Hispanics, something to believe in, but he also gave Los Angeles something to believe in.
Fernando in '81, Fernandomania was unbelievable. I've never seen LA react like that. And it just brought so many people, sell out every time Fernando pitched.
So certainly as the Dodgers head into the World Series, his passing really just has even more meaning. And Dodgers fans continue to come out, pay their respects, and just celebrate a man who they loved so much. Reporting live just outside of Dodger Stadium, I'm Tom Waite, KCAL News.
Tom, thanks. We want to go up now to our Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal over Dodger Stadium.
And Desmond, within the last 20 minutes or so, the Dodgers posting this tribute to Valenzuela inside the stadium.
Yes, very soon after that news broke, Chauncey and Susie, we were actually over the stadium last hour just coming to get some night aerials and seeing them testing out the lights, which was really cool. And then we got that news only a couple of minutes after we got overhead, so we wanted to stay over and see if the Dodgers were going to pay tribute this evening. And indeed, they were able to get this message up very quickly. You can see on both of the scoreboards here, both left and right field. And there's also a baseball that we know down back in this area, kind of a commemorative baseball that's out here. Unfortunately, it's not lit up very well, so we'll probably come back and get that sometime in the afternoon hours. And boy, you know, if there wasn't already a lot to play for with the World Series opening on Friday, there certainly will be now, and I'm very confident we'll be seeing a lot of tributes, that's for sure, once the World Series opens here on Friday. Live in SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Back to you now in the studio.
And for decades, Fernando Valenzuela has been a giant in Los Angeles. This is a live look tonight at one of several giant murals of Valenzuela across the city. This one is in Echo Park.
Every time I see it, I smile, because I remember when he would give that pitch and he'd always look up in the sky. So that's true Fernando. That brought the true meaning of Los Angeles and the Dodgers to me when I was young growing up. So he means a lot to me, and it's really sad news, and we'll miss him.
And we are also live tonight in Frogtown near Elysian Park, where this mural is in the works right now. We spoke with the artist Jonas Never earlier today, and he told us the finished mural will be a tribute to the 1981 1988 and 2021 World Series Dodgers champs. And as you can see here, he started with the mural with Fernando Valenzuela. And our coverage of the passing of the Dodgers legends continues throughout the night right here on KCAL. Coming up a little later, hear from Dodgers legends Steve Garvey and Rick Monday.